Hey everybody, Jimmy with the Triple C Collective here, and
Collin.
we are ready to bring you Mandalorian Season 3, Chapter 21, The Pirate. Let me say, this was before we dive in, great episode, right?
Yeah.
I love this thing.
This was so cool.
Mandalorian is probably one of the most consistent, Star Wars things that, just continually surprises me for the things that they just end up doing.
Couldn't agree more.
And that's not a knock to anything else. It's just I'm always surprised at the end of every episode. I was like, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they went there.
So many things. I can't believe they did this, that.
Yeah.
What? All in one episode. Yeah. But let's get into it. The pirate is 21. The Pirate King Gorian Shard is about to wreak havoc in this episode. But we started off with Karga, just doing some.
He's doing some town hall kind of meet, not necessarily.
No,
town
he's doing
hall.
a planning meeting.
Yeah, a planning meeting with his engineers of Navarro and everything, and they're working on layout on the layouts of the land, and
Yep.
he says he's like, "Where's our rail system? We're bringing in so much cargo," and then you start hearing some screams and stuff.
And he gets word that the pirates are the Pirate King Gorian Shard is here and ready to negotiate.
We get that awesome aerial shot of
that
the
ship. If you like ships, this episode's sick because that thing is so cool. Both ships are in it, like always. I stand. So we get some back and forth between them, and it seems like he's got no choice but to ask for protection from the Republic.
Yeah. And basically that's what he does. Gorian Shard and Karga, they're just exchanging blows here. But it's hilarious on how Shard leaves it, on how he's just like, "Don't you hail me again unless it's to surrender." And then the open hail, just the firestorm just happens.
Also, I will shoot first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're doing all these references.
Yeah.
So the Republic needs to help them, but they clearly didn't work with the Republic. In the past episodes, we found out that they're independent from the Republic.
From the New Republic and everything.
They need their own, but they were left without protection. Remember, he asked Mando specifically to be their sheriff. It didn't work out, but so they don't really have protection other than grief, and he was good, but against a ship full of pirates, not necessarily
because
gonna work
they
out.
don't. I mean, to be fair, they have weapons and blasters there, sure, but they definitely don't have anti-craft.
No, they don't have the ability to fight
weapons.
back. They do not have the ability to fight back, and that's why. I understand wanting to be independent, but it's this is the moment where you realize okay, maybe the New Republic could have helped, but also we'll see why. Maybe it's not a good idea to join them.
Hold on, we got one thing that's extremely funny. His droid is like, "Sir, the escape pod is ready," and he turns to it and he's like, "I'm not going to abandon my people. I'm gonna stay here and figure it out." And then they do their retreat, and then we get the opening credit sequence, and oh man. But the droid being like, "The escape pod's ready, sir," and he's like, "I'm not gonna abandon my people." I was like, "All right, I love it."
He's great. He's a great leader, but he made a hard choice by not going with the Republic, and I actually understand his decision. But anyway, so we cut to that, and then we go to a cool
space hub.
Space hub. But this song they're playing here, they call it on the closed captions, it was psychedelic rock music.
Yep.
Psychedelic alien rock. It's so cool because it's sung in an alien language, but it fits in with Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it also sounds new.
It's so good.
It's such a cool song. It really is a cool little thing that sets the stage for this. You're going to this basically New Republic bar, where old rebels kind of hang out. It seems like, and this is when you see.
Well, we get Tiva first off. Captain Tiva. He gets a message from Karva.
Yeah, hold
Shard.
on, wait. The bartender. Ooh. She was gorgeous, bro.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So yeah, he gets a message.
He gets and
Karga's from Grief, Karga, and he's like, please.
He's like, you said I can always hail you if I ever needed help, and I need it. We're under the attack by the Pirate King, Gorian Shard, and it would be I am humbly asking for your assistance to help us out in basically anyway, send some ships, some X-wings, whatever you can do, whatever you can muster up for us. And then he ends it by saying, I don't ask for aid lightly. Like, please help us.
Right.
And again, another callback of like almost that feeling of like Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are my only hope.
Yes, for sure.
Like it definitely has that feel to it.
Right.
Without even like necessarily uttering those words.
And technically, he ends up being a good person to have called on.
Yeah.
But anyway, he. Is just he's ready to kind of move along, but we get an interruption from someone, and the voice is very distinct if you know it. Zeb Aurelios or Garazeb shows up. He's from Rebels. He's one of my favorite non-Force characters in Star Wars, and he just shows up for this little brief cameo. And he's rocking this cool white vest with the Rebel emblem on it, which I want. And it's awesome. It was really cool. It was short, but it was very distinct, and they did a really, really, really good job at bringing him to live action, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, so like, let's take a second.
It's a hard character.
Let's take a second here. We had the Purgils.
Yeah.
Already. We've obviously got it.
We haven't seen him though, like. We haven't seen,
but we saw him. But we saw him in Mandalorian.
True.
We saw him in the hyperspace.
Rebels
they very clearly pulled in Bo-Katan in that, which has been excellent this season, and we'll get to more of her. And now we've got
Ahsoka
Zeb,
too.
and they did Ahsoka, last season, which is excellent. We know Ahsoka's coming. My question is in these now remaining 3 episodes we have left in this season, do you think we're gonna get any more Rebel cameos? Or do you want to save your answer for the end of the episode because it ties in
no, yeah, let's wait. But
okay.
I hope so. There's
too.
other Rebels characters that could be introduced that could totally lead to Ahsoka too, and lead to a bigger, grander scheme of what's to come for not only Mandalorians but everyone in the galaxy, with who's coming with Thrawn's return.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh man, I'm super.
The forces need to unite on both sides, and yeah. I want to see some more people, but I want to see where he shows up next. But where Zeb's going to show up next? Clearly, Ahsoka. I'm guessing it's going to be. It just seems like it's going to be like. I mean, it's Rebels continued, and I'm loving it. I'm totally down for that.
Zeb could show up later in this season, true, for whatever reason. But there is one thing, like Zeb also gives Tifa some information about the New Republic, saying that there's a backlog and that if you just send a message there, they're just gonna put it. And you're never gonna hear back or anything, and then that gives Tiva though his action of being
true.
Well, they won't ignore me if I go face to face. Then they can't ignore me if I'm there.
Yeah, because Zeb's basically like good luck. The bureaucracy's in action, and but I wonder if Zeb was gonna maybe show up in that the Rangers of the Republic show or something like that too. You know what I mean? Because that's clearly he's doing. He's doing something new. He's fully on in the rebellion. But yeah, hopefully he shows up in Ahsoka. If not later in the season again, which I don't know. I doubt that only because it's probably a lot for his character to render and stuff.
Slyly, I was talking to my friends Dave Scheidt and Scoot at C2E2 this weekend. We also think that what we were discussing, this specific cameo here, that it was, as you said, even yourself, it was short and sweet. It was excellent that we got him there, but it was short and sweet. I think it's truly a test for Zeb, for Zeb's future live action.
How did we react to the way he looked? do we need to tweak anything? And they're not going to be able to do that in 2 episodes. You know what I mean? So like, here he is, and then if you what did you like, what didn't you like, and then we'll make him, we'll kill it in the final. But I really do think they really did an excellent job. I mean, it was a character that like really they could have went a couple ways with it, and they did an excellent job.
Yeah. But yeah, I think if we see him, we could see him again. But most likely, I agree, Ahsoka. Yeah. So let's get back into it. The next thing we see then is Teva at the New Republic,
which is cool to see because these buildings are beautiful and stuff. They're very like government, but yeah, you go in and find out pretty much immediately the New Republic sucks. It's the worst too. Like it's not the worst in the same way, but it's the worst in the way that any government's kind of the worst, where it's just bureaucratic and the sense of urgency isn't there sometimes, and it's hilarious.
And I just love that they bring in Tim Meadows.
Tim Meadows as Colonel Tuttle was amazing. He's the Michael Scott of the Star Wars universe, and I almost wonder if he's gonna be in another show, which they kind of make, which I would love if they made like a more comedic show for Star Wars, and him leading that cast. I mean, like an Office type of show in Star Wars.
Yeah, it'll be wild. I really liked it, but like, so in the end, Teva pleads his case. He's like that, Navarro needs help. They're being attacked by the pirate king.
Wait,
Gorian
who else was in this office?
Oh no, she's not there yet.
No, we saw her.
Wait,
we saw who's in the office. Who's in the office? Like she's in the Elia Kane's just in the office. Happens to be in the office that what is it?
Requisitions.
Yeah, exactly. And we go into Colonel Tuttle's thing, and then she sees him going in there.
Yeah, but she doesn't start there. She walks in later.
Yeah, I'm not saying about walking in. I'm just saying who's that?
Yeah. She's there.
Who's at the office today? Someone's at the office today. Elia Kane or whatever it is. She's at the office, and he goes in and pleads his case. And Tim Meadows is pretty funny, and because he puts the disc in that Carson Teva gives him, and he plays it, and it's starting to get to like the heart-wrenching part, and Tim Meadows just turns it off. He's like, I get it, I get the point, like I get the gist. It's like
I get the gist, I get like where it's going.
Movie, like a movie that you're just like, I don't have enough time.
I've seen,
which I get. He's probably got a backlog and whatever. And
because it starts when we first see Tim Meadows, a droid is coming up to with
don't put it in
like a new tray, and he's like, "Don't you put that on my desk? Don't you put that?" Yeah. And then the droid puts it on and slowly pushes it towards him.
Yeah. That's my workspace, he said.
Yeah.
He just puts it on his workspace. And so this is when then Kane walks in, and she's got seemingly other plans to derail this conversation quickly. She's like, I'm just having lunch. What's going on? And but quickly her opinion is asked about Navarro and what it means to help them. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. Last time I went there, it was kind of rough. They never signed up to be.
They never signed the charter.
Yeah,
they never signed the charter.
I don't know. Maybe this is how they learn.
Yeah.
And he's just Teva's just like basically like, well, dude, really? Like they're gonna learn by dying, by getting annihilated, and
Kane's like, like sometimes you have to be, sometimes you gotta have a harsh like learning for it. And Teva's like, I don't see like a harsh punishment from like you, and she's like, oh no, sir. I was liberated.
Yeah, I was liberated. Which is just like,
man.
Yeah. Because she's clearly, this is a clear thing she's doing. And it almost makes me wonder if she's part of this pirate attack.
Yeah. Well,
if she's part of setting up this pirate attack.
Because then you got to also remember what Teva also says. He says, I've heard Moff Gideon hasn't gotten into trial.
Yep.
They've also talked about TIE fighters flying over planets and stuff. Now we've got these pirate kings
this can't
like
be
attacking,
a coincidence,
like the pirate nation attacking and stuff. And she's like, I don't know.
Sounds like a coincidence. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's basically what it is.
And this is when Colonel Tuttle kind of agrees.
Yeah, where Tim Meadows is just like, yeah, we'll see if we can round up some assets to help out, but that's just about it.
We're not going to send your Adelphi unit in there.
Yeah, but we're not going to send, like, a whole unit or anything in there, so, like, that's about the best we can do.
So then we get a shot next of Tiva's TIE fighter flying into
and it's an awesome, like, from the cockpit kind of, like, shot and
cool
stuff.
Shot.
Like,
He's tracking something, and he finds the planet, and quickly you realize what planet we're on. We're at the covert for the Mandalorians, and he's going to the cave. He has his hands up, and he's got snipers on him right away. They could have killed him immediately if they wanted to, but he pleads his case, but before he does, he's like, "Oh no, someone in the rebellion." I assumed he was tracking Bo-Katan.
Yeah, me too.
But he's like, someone who was a fighter in the rebellion is here, and they're looking around, and again, I thought it was Bo-Katan, but it was R5. It was the R5 unit, which I'm like, he is awesome because he didn't end up going with Luke, but he still joined the rebellion. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So Tiva informs Din of the trouble that
Greef is on.
Yeah.
And Navarro and everything, and he's like, you gotta help the guy, and because I can't,
right,
I can't do it alone or anything, and like it's crazy. It Tiva's just like, no, like, they're under attack.
You owe him.
I think you owe him.
I wish I could help. I can't. But
I came here to tell you because he's your friend, and I don't think you're gonna let your friend die.
Right.
And Mando's like, God damn it, you're
right. You're right. Yeah. So Bo's like, what are we gonna do? And he's like, we got to do something. And this scene's cool because you see some more Mandalorian culture,
lore. And
so he's holding the armor's hammer.
Yeah.
Speaking, pleading his case, basically being like, I know Grief Karga. I know he wasn't that cool to you guys last time.
We hate our differences and stuff.
We had a little beef every once in a while, but he's really changed Navarro into a good place. He's offered me a attractive land, which we could live at, go back to Navarro and kind of have a better space to live on if we just protect the citizens
and
there.
Have our
we'll have that agreement.
And Din's like, we can have our kids grow up in the sun.
Yeah.
And everything, he has helped me and the foundling in my charge and stuff, and he's also like, I have no position to ask any more of you. You know, I want Din's like, but I will leave you on this note. It was not Grief Karga who destroyed our sewer dwellings, our lair and our forge down there. It was the Imperials.
Yeah. Who's the real enemy here?
Yeah. Who's the real enemy? You guys may have had our differences, but do you kind of believe me or whatever? Mm-hmm. And then he hands it off to the armorer, and Bo's like, yo, what just happened here? Mm. And
it's basically a freedom. It's basically everyone gets their chance to bring up points for or against, and this is when Paz Vizsla comes up, and he's going hard on Mando and Greef and the whole mission, and it seems like he's leaning one way, but it's all just basically to lead into we got to do this.
Yeah,
this is the way.
Because his whole thing is I was there that night on Navarro. Mm-hmm. I saw the Imperial butchers and stuff, and why? Well, why again? Because we are Mandalorians!
Yeah, exactly.
And it's it's so good!
They're a warrior culture, and what's the point if they're not going to save people who are being exploited at this moment?
Well, he also lays it out on the line. He's also like, me and this dude have not gotten along at all.
I actually fought this dude.
I fought this dude for the Darksaber at one point, just an FYI here. And despite that, he still saved my son because this is the way.
This is the way.
And Bo-Katan, she also didn't give up on my son when all of us others had.
Oh, she's killing it.
So then
in their eyes, she's killing it right now. She's doing very well.
And she, to be fair, she gets it, and Paz is finally like, these two are asking us to take up arms for a brighter future. And, like, for that reason, I'm with them, and then everybody's like, this is the way.
They're ready.
This is the way.
So they're ready. They're going. They head off. They're finally going to live back in the light, but they got to fight first.
And they got to make a plan.
They got to make a plan.
Dude, and how about Bo-Katan, like Captain General, like Bo-Katan, like laying out the plan, like, we're going to need you guys to be here. I'm going to drop you guys in here, and, we will get this distracted, and, this will all be, like, good, and then we'll be back in our own place and have a nice place. And, dude,
exactly.
Then we cut to Navarro, and the pirates have totally overrun.
Yeah, they're just
everything in Navarro.
They're just like peeing on walls, basically.
Yeah,
like, it's like Patty's Day after like 5 p.m.
Yeah, it's
at the parade.
Yeah, it's just bad, like and then we get a quick N1 flies over Gorian Shard's ship and shoots it, and
it's on.
Yeah,
it's on. This is when the Gorian Shard realizes, we got some help.
Scadios. They're in some trouble here, and so Shard starts firing back. He launches his little snubber ships and everything like that. There's like 6 of those bad boys. And the best thing is the conversation they're having over comms. Grief, Karga, and Din, and he's like, careful up there, my friend. It's a 10-to-1 odds up there, and and Din's response is just simply, I don't know. I kind of like those odds.
Yeah, exactly. And then immediately he uses his tricks where he uses defense as offense.
Yeah.
Where he just flies out of the way and someone takes themselves out, basically. And I always love that. I love that he does that.
And that's what he does. He distracts the snubber ship so that Bo-Katan can make the first drop team, and like that's great. Like because we've seen them drop. Like, they showed us that little drop sequence from inside there in the trailer for, like, season 3.
Yeah,
like, so cool I've kind of been waiting to see this.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, it didn't let me down.
No.
Like, it was
cool.
great.
It was cool.
It was so good. It was so awesome. Because
Mandalorians with jetpacks are just like, they're going to kill you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are screwed. Like, so, those are, like, the street... That's like the street level fighters, and those guys are.
And the way they jump down and get so tactical. The one thing that I love
immediately they're in it.
Is they're like, you got I'm a 6, and like I had 2:00, but the one dude like the little like creature up in the tree is like,
yeah, he points him out. I love that little guy. And then, he's like, yo,
and then the Mandalorian is like, hey, possible ambush up here,
right.
And oh my god, dude, like. It's wild. It's so awesome. And then, like, this whole, like, 10 minutes of sequence of this, like, episode or whatever.
It's just action.
It's just awesome. Because you're cutting between, like, the ground sequences. You're cutting between the awesome fight sequences in which, like,
it's ground fighting. There's fighting in the sky going on. There, you know what I mean? There's the watchtower basically fight happening, and then it's just a lot. It's a lot of action for 10 minutes.
It's so awesome. Well, so that first team then kind of moves into like the courtyard and everything, and then they like get to that ambush, but they get boxed in because people start showing up behind them.
Which I don't know about being boxed in being that bad for a Mandalorian, but they're seemingly trapped.
Yeah,
right now.
They're seemingly trapped, but then that's why you have Team 2 drop
exactly.
in. And then we get Paz Vizsla with his heavy machine gun just like murking people like they're nothing.
It was a trap that ended up being another trap. They thought they trapped them, but they were really getting trapped.
Right. We get the N1 taking out a couple of snub ships. We get Bo taking out an engine or two. Like, oh man, it's great. How about then when we cut back to the watchtower in the courtyard?
Yeah.
So in the courtyard, the pirates have taken up like another heavy machine gun, basically mounted heavy machine gun, and shooting back at Paz Vizsla and the rest of the Mandalorians that have taken one portion of the courtyard.
to compare it to any gun on, it's like a 50 cal.
Yeah.
Like it's a very powerful,
big, huge
weapon that he's got up in the watchtower. Yeah. And this is when we see the armor come up, and it's so funny to see her fight with just her tools,
her forging tools. Yeah, it's great, man. Like
she does not use anything but those, and she is a beast.
She takes over the tower for them, and then Paz Vizsla, like she holds up her like hammer, and like Paz Vizsla's like, all right, advance forward.
Right. So like they're killing it. They're doing very well. Gorian's starting to realize, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And, he's I don't know if he's realizing it, but the one player, what is his name?
Vane. With a V.
Yeah. He's funny.
Yeah.
Him and his crew's kind of fighting against the Mandalorian as they're chasing him down.
Well, because he's in the snubs.
Yeah.
Like he's leading the snubbers.
Yeah.
And Mando takes out, like, shoots a couple of them, does the fly up, and two hit each other a couple of times.
Defensive fighting.
And like gets it to basically where there's like one or two left. He takes out the last one, and then Van's like, all right, Captain, it was fun. It was fun seeing you, because like then maybe Bo or him take out another engine. So out of the 4 engines of Gorian Shard's ship, 3 are now dead in the water. They're all smoking and everything, and dude, it's great. And we get, dude, how about...
But he starts going, like, kamikaze and starts wanting to blow everything up.
Yeah, and trying to take out...
Vane dipped, but, he's trying to take things out.
And then both Bo and Mando focus all their energy on the last engine to take him out, have him get taken out really quickly. We also have then the rest of the Mandalorians moving the remaining pirates from the courtyard out of like the city limits, basically. And who do they meet? Bam! The people of Navarro, with Grief Karga waiting for them, blasters in hands. Like, it's so good. It was so awesome.
Justice.
It was so great. We also get then we get the final speech, basically, is like, as I put it so finely in our notes here. Grief Karga, thanking the Mandalorians. He says everywhere from the lava flats to Bullock Canyon, it's now yours. And and he's like, I know you may not have a home planet, but you do have a home now. And so, like,
they've already if you remember, they lived on Navarro, so it's like they're gaining, but now they're gaining it as actual land. They're not hiding on Navarro anymore, and the armor kind of gets her forge back. And this is a cool scene between her and Bo that happens too at this moment, because she's talking about how the forge was different than this forge, but at the end of the day it was
still a forge. And so this is like one of those things where like the armorer both realizes that like differences are differences, and that's fine, but like Mandalorians can walk both ways. It's basically what she's finding.
Bo-Katan especially. Yeah. She's proved herself over and over again in this short matter of time, and her leadership on this mission specifically was on point.
Yeah.
Everyone followed her to a T.
I mean, really, I think it was what happened last episode.
Absolutely.
Because the armor even says, you have done the highest honor that any Mandalorian can do.
So everything after that is a plus.
Yeah, everything after that is a plus. Then nailing this with the team up of Din, of like being like, no, we can do this, and Din being like, you're the war person. I'm truly just like a soldier in this. Like people will follow me, but I will follow you in this plan and stuff, because Bo's nailed it.
For now,
the entire time.
That's the track. But the armor does a really cool thing here. It's really like, menacing, but also what's going on? She has her take her helmet off. She's like,
take off your helmet. Yeah. And Bo's like, that's not like how we that's not the way. And then the armorer pulls the, do you respect my station card? And Bo's like, yes. And she's like, take off your helmet. And
I would have been like, you take off yours.
I'll take off mine if you take off yours.
But yeah, so Bo does it, and the armor basically explains that Bo needs to walk as both a Mandalorian that now the children of Watch taught her to be, but also as the Mandalorian that she knew before, and she realizes that it's okay for some people to walk different.
Yeah.
And that in order to get all of Mandalore together, she's gonna need someone that walks a little different.
Yeah. Or as she even says, like, she has walked both worlds
Yep.
of like the masked and the unmasked. So she can go find those Mandalorians that are unmasked and that don't believe in that way and recruit them.
Not to mention you saw the Mythosaur.
Yeah.
Like, I really think this means something to armor.
But then like so there's all of that of like being like, this is what you have done.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're right. The armorer is like, but then you've also saw the Mythosaur, and I have only ever been told that is a myth, something of dreams. But you said you saw one. And, like, this is the first time, basically, that, like, aside from, like, the armorer giving her the compliment of, like, saving the foundling and stuff, like, this is the first time, like, where the armorer has, like, come back and been, like, this has changed me. Something that you have said, that you say that you have experienced, that I believe you now due to our shared experiences of the foundling and other things like that. Like, you've obviously proven yourself in the way and everything, and that's ultimately what it was, is that Bo has proven herself to the armorer and like stop and like period, that you are a Mandalorian, and the fact that you were not wearing a helmet before really doesn't matter.
No.
And that like you still honor the way of the Mandalore and like Mandalorians and stuff.
And in
like,
fact, you're much better than I could ever be at uniting Mandalorians because you've walked both.
And like, so that is what you're tasked to do now, Bo-Katan, is for you to go out there, find the Mandalorians in exile, and unite us.
Yep.
And then we get they walk out to all of the Mandalorians, like right where like Greef Karga was like giving his speech and everything, and then Paz Vizsla's like, but she doesn't have her helmet on, and the armorer's like, she walks both ways, and this is her task, this is her job, this is what she will be doing next. So hold on, before we go to the little, what I will call epilogue of this episode. First Mandalorian that Bo-Katan is going to get.
I don't know. Okay, you think one thing, I think something different. There's been Mandalorians we've already seen her working with.
Yeah.
In previous episodes of this show. So I think first,
like Sasha Banks and
think first she's gonna go get her Night Owls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what do you think?
So I don't disagree, because we've seen them already, that they would be people that they got. Or but that those would be people that you would go after. My thing of why she wouldn't is that they clearly abandoned her when after everything in season 2 and like before we saw her here and all of that stuff, like they just went out marauding and stuff and like basically became mercenaries and like all of those things. So it's interesting that like I say it's Sabine. Yeah. Sabine Wren. I say it's Sabine Wren.
Yeah, I think maybe Sabine would be the ultimate, but she didn't have a good ending with Sabine either. Like she did, but like they went their different ways. And if she can't convince her own Night Owls to walk the same way with her, how is she ever going to convince Sabine to try to become a full-blown Mandalorian again? She's seen the horror and stuff from it. Her own family was whatever. But yeah, I do think maybe the ultimate goal might be Sabine. But again, I would not be surprised if we see her by the end of the season, just because we saw Zeb and everyone but basically Hera and
Hera and Ezra.
Yeah. Hera, Ezra, and Sabine.
Yeah, are the only 3 people left from like the Rebels crew that we haven't really seen.
And technically, Chopper.
Yeah, Chopper.
My homeboy.
That's true. That's true too.
The little crazy. Oh, he's crazy.
Crazy homicidal droid.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
But so then, after this, like, it goes
After the uniting of these the Mandalorians
of the
under this new thing,
Mandalorians.
and they get their new plot of land on Navarro, and
they're gonna retake Mandalore as well.
But that's the ultimate goal. But for now, hey, we got some land.
We got some land. We got some people. We can build a life here to eventually take over Mandalore. Then we cut out into open space, and we see a wrecked ship. It's got a messed up like wing, let's call it, because it's like one of those like.
It looks like it looks like a ship we've seen before in Star Wars. Yeah,
just a normal transport ship.
Yeah, it's a transport ship. Yeah.
And it's Tiva, it's Captain Tiva flying the ship again. And he finds this attack ship. It's got a big old breach on its hull, and he sends out his little R7 probe droid. Starts going in, looking at it.
It's a cool, creepy little scene like that. It's going through and it's got the light, the lasers shining through, and you start seeing like frozen, frozen in space, dead bodies,
body parts, but no Moff Gideon and nobody alive.
Was the transport,
and like so that's what Tiva does. Yeah. He calls in somebody and he's like, hey, so like I've got this ship out here. Have you had any missing ships in the region? Yeah, we've had one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's check the date that it was supposed to leave. Oh.
It's classified.
Oh, it's classified.
Yeah.
Well, why? Oh, it's the same day that Moff Gideon's ship was supposed to leave for trial.
Yeah, so over this season, we've kind of heard little different rumors about what's going on with Moff Gideon. He was supposed to stand trial, and then we heard that, like, oh, I heard he escaped, and I heard this, and whatever. And nobody's really known. And then even earlier in the episode, he mentioned something about Moff Gideon
not making it to trial.
And then now he finds, conveniently, in my opinion, finds this ship missing, which, again, Kane could have had something to do with in finding this, or at least it seems very, very convenient.
I think 100% Kane is still evil. She is a secret double agent for the future First Order, no doubt. But that I actually think, because we know that she worked with Moff Gideon before, I think she's actually Moff Gideon's inside person.
Oh, 100%. There's who else would have known and been willing to give that information to anyone?
Thrawn.
But how would he have known? We don't know where he is, but who else would have known that information from the inside to where the transport is for Moff Gideon? Thrawn doesn't, I don't think, care about Moff Gideon yet. Like, again, I think their forces will be united eventually, sure, but right now, no. Moff Gideon needs inside forces, and who the inside force has to be is Elia Kane, and she is definitely the leak in the person that gave where this transport was going to be.
Absolutely.
And we find in this moment that there's Beskar embedded in the ship, but what I was talking about before was Beskar's not used as armor, and not everyone knows, or not used as weapon. Sorry, it's only used as armor. But the Republic wouldn't know. Most people don't know that, probably. That's not a probably well-known thing, so this is an easy cover story to kind of blink, because they kind of like are like, so Mandalorians did it, like, over the comms, and like, but my theory here is no. I don't think Mandalorians did do it, because it looks like a weapon struck this area, and armor wouldn't leave that mark. So I remembered that the Dark Troopers are made of Beskar.
Yeah.
And who better to rescue Moff Gideon from space than the Dark Troopers, if there is any left, because they were made of Beskar, and
they were made of stolen Beskar and stuff. Yeah. So that was like all part of like that plan to like reinforce like their troopers and everything, and have a new class of people and everything like that. And yeah, dude, it's wild. So I also don't believe that Mandalorians actually took Moff Gideon.
No, but it does seem like it's gonna lead to some disagreements from the bureaucracy about who's to blame for what.
Well, dude, we've got 3 episodes left.
Right.
So like, it'll be really interesting. Like, we could see Moff Gideon. I mean, seeing an appearance of Moff Gideon in the last episode, totally possible.
Oh, I totally don't doubt Moff Gideon's going to be in this season. There's no way he's not going to be in the season, because that
do you think he'll be in the next episode, or do you think they?
I have no idea which episode, but maybe. I don't think there's any real reason to like super wait when they just gave us that.
Yeah,
like because we haven't heard anything about him really other than those little rumors. It would be a nice little cool cross if they did just a full Moff Gideon episode.
What if they gave the Moff Gideon episode of like his whole entire like his journey of this season,
what's been like actually it's kind of like what's been actually going on
and
episode.
Then like it ends like the 3 minutes after like his escape or like whatever happens after that crash of that like
and we could bookend it with some Mandalorian stuff that like back to that I would be down. But yeah, I hope he comes. I definitely think he's going to be in the next couple episodes, few episodes, and then if Sabine comes, that'll be more surprising to me, but I hope so. But yeah, we're on this new mission with Bo. We're gonna have to deal with Moff Gideon again. And I think he's going to be joining forces with Thrawn eventually. It's kind of going to be a unification of Mandalorians and Rebels, New Republic, I guess, at this point. And a fight against Thrawn and Moff Gideon's forces, I think, eventually. In Ahsoka, that'll lead into that stuff, too. And then you get some maybe Jedis back into the fight. And that's a whole other thing. Mandalorians working with Jedi. If that ever comes, when that comes, I mean, it's already happened a little bit, but like seeing that on a large scale, like Avengers level type, TV show moment, showman. I like that.
Showman, yeah, that's awesome. But dude, the Mandalorian, the show just continues to shock me.
Yeah.
With like,
what shocked me was I saw this year's ratings are down, and I think that's a bad decision if you've stopped watching because it's great. Yeah,
man, it's so good.
Yeah.
If you've given up on it for whatever reason, you thought like previous shows just didn't hit the mark, so they lost the juju. No, it's still there, baby. It's still there. Turn on Mandalorian, give it a spin.
You're gonna hate that you missed out on it in a couple years.
Yeah,
because it's gonna matter, and if these characters are gonna matter, and the fact that they're using their time to tell or poke little characters in there every once in a while makes sense for an overall scheme of what they're doing. And I appreciate it as a Star Wars fan because I appreciate the lore building and the world building, and this season's been doing a lot of that. It's been laying a lot of groundwork, while also maintaining its own consistent storyline.
Yeah, and then its own like compelling storyline. Yeah. I'm so in and like so like just tuned into it. But hey, we're gonna wrap this up here. I loved this episode. I love Chapter 21, the Pirate. I am Jimmy with the Triple C Collective. With me always,
Collin.
And we want to thank you all for joining us. Please like and subscribe to our video. We hope you all stay safe. And as always, this is the way.